Next, let us see the kinetics. What is kinetics? As I explained before, the kinetics is the branch of biomechanics which deals with the description of forces. Is called kinetics. The description of forces is called the kinetics. Now let us see what is a force. What is a force? Force is nothing but a push or a pull exerted on one object on the other. Is a push or a pull exerted on one object on the other is called a force. Or in other words, force is that which alters the state of rest or of uniform motion of an object. What is a force? Force is that which alters the state of rest or of uniform motion of an object. What is the unit of force in SI system? What is the unit of force in SI system? Well, SI system of international system of unit. The unit of force is Newton. N. Newton. What is 1 Newton? 1 Newton is the force applied to a mass of 1 kilogram to accelerate 1 meter per second square. That is 1 Newton. 1 Newton is the force applied to a mass of 1 kilogram to accelerate 1 meter per second square. That is a force. So when you think about the force, there are certain vectors we need to know. In that, first thing is the scalar quantity and vector quantity. What is a scalar quantity? Scalar quantity is any quantity which has only magnitude is called the scalar quantity. And what is a vector quantity? A vector quantity is a quantity which having both magnitude and direction. It's called a vector quantity. So scalar quantity is a quantity which has got only magnitude is called scalar quantity. Vector quantity is the quantity which has got both magnitude and direction is called the vector quantity. I still remember my physics professor used to teach us a very simple method to memorize scalar quantity and vector quantity. So the example what he taught us was, imagine 1 kilogram of mutton. 1 kilogram of mutton is scalar quantity. Here there is only magnitude, 1 kilogram. And the example what he gave us for vector quantity is, imagine a sheep, a 50 kilogram sheep moving in the east direction. A 50 kilogram sheep moving in the east direction is an example of vector quantity. So 50 kilogram, which has got magnitude, is going in the east direction, it has got direction. Okay. So just for the memory purpose, still I remember that word. It's been almost 30 years back, he taught us this example. So not for the exam purpose. If somebody asks you what is a scalar quantity, don't tell that, okay, 1 kilo mutton is scalar quantity and a sheep going in the east direction is vector quantity. No, this is for your memory purpose. So let us see some examples for a scalar quantity. So scalar quantity is quantity which is having only magnitude but no direction, whereas the vector quantity is having both magnitude and direction. So now let us see some examples of in terms of physics, in terms of biomechanics, about the scalar quantity and vector quantity. First thing is speed. What is speed? Speed is rate of change of displacement. Rate of change of displacement, or the rate at which an object moves. The rate at which an object moves is called speed. Speed is rate at which object moves. That is the distance by time. Speed is nothing but the distance by time. The distance by time is speed. Speed is considered as the speed is distance by time is speed. Distance traveled in particular time. And speed is a scalar quantity. If somebody asks you what was the speed you are driving, you can tell I was driving at 60 kilometer per hour. No need to tell in a 60 kilometer per hour in the west direction. No, we won't tell. We'll just tell what is the distance, 60 kilometer, and what's the time per hour, 60 kilometer per hour. So speed is a scalar quantity. Okay, speed is a scalar quantity. It doesn't have any direction. So then what is velocity? So speed is the distance traveled in a particular time is speed. And what is velocity? Velocity is called the rate of change of displacement. Seems like I told the rate of change of displacement in speed, right? No, that's wrong. Velocity is rate of change of displacement is velocity. So what is velocity? Velocity is rate of change of displacement. The equation for velocity can be distance by time, same like speed, but it has got another one more thing that is called the direction. Velocity is same like speed. It's the distance traveled in a particular time, but we are also giving importance to the direction. So distance traveled by time plus direction is velocity. So velocity is the rate of change of displacement is velocity. Next, another one quantity is called the acceleration. What is acceleration? That is distance by time plus direction, same like velocity. The distance traveled in a particular time in a particular direction, but here we are giving importance to the time square. Acceleration is the distance traveled in particular time in a particular direction. Here we are giving importance to the time. At what time? If the velocity, if you tell about the velocity, if a person traveled in an west direction with 60 kilometer in an hour in a west direction, if is velocity. If he traveled a 60 kilometer in west direction in 30 minutes is called as is acceleration, is accelerated speed. If he travels 60 kilometers in 2 hours in the west direction, it is called as deceleration. It's called as deceleration. Got it? So that's various. So speed is a scalar quantity. It has got only the magnitude, distance and time only, and velocity as well as acceleration are both vector quantities. It has got magnitude as well as direction. Okay. Now, let us see some laws regarding the movement. Some laws regarding the movement. In that, we are giving importance to the Newton's laws of motion. Newton's laws of motion. Newton's laws of motion. So, what is Newton's first law? Law of inertia. Law of inertia. What is law of inertia? Law of inertia. Law of inertia states that an object remains at a state of rest or of uniform motion unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. So what is law of inertia? A law of inertia states that an object remains at a state of rest or of uniform motion unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. And what is inertia? What is inertia? Inertia is the property of an object to resist initiation of motion or change in motion. Got it? What is inertia? Inertia is the property of an object to resist the initiation of motion or change in motion. I can give you an example. You are sitting in the car. Suddenly you press on your gas pedal or suddenly increase your accelerator. What happened? The car pushes forward. The car pushes forward, but what is happening to you? You will be pushing backwards. Is it? You are pushing backwards at the seat, but the car is pushing forwards. Why you are pushing backwards? If you think when the car pushes forward, automatically you need to push forward. But you are not pushing forward. Instead, you are pushing yourself backwards. You are sitting like this when the car is pushing forward. Why? Why? This is because of inertia. That's the definition of what I told. Inertia is the property of an object to resist the initiation of motion or change in motion. So what I am doing, I am resisting my position. I am in a sitting position. I was in a sitting position and I try to maintain in that sitting position even if the car is pushing forward. So because of inertia, I am pushing myself back because of the property of inertia. Again, I'll give another example. You are standing or you are sitting in the car. The car is moving and you are sitting in the car. Suddenly the driver applies brake. What happens? The car suddenly stops, but you push forward. The car suddenly stops when the driver applies brake, but you push forward. The passenger push forward. Why? Again, this is because of inertia. Again, come to the definition of inertia. Why you push forward? So when the car comes to a halt, your body is still in inertia. Your body is still inertia because your body is still in that moving force. Suddenly when the car stopped, your body was still in that momentum. So you push forward. So that's the property of inertia. Inertia is the property of an object to resist the initiation of motion or change in motion. So now your body, why the body is pushing forwards is that your body is resisting the change in motion. What is the change in motion happen here? When the driver applies the brake, the vehicle suddenly stop. That's the change in motion. But your body is resisting to adjust with the change in motion. So the body, we still in that moving. That's why your body moves forward. That is because of the property of inertia. You got it? Okay. So why I'm telling all this inertia, why in biomechanics all these physical principles are important. When you think about the mechanism of injuries, whether it can be a neurological injury, whether it can be or an orthopedic injury, the knowledge of biomechanics and these physical principles are very important in diagnosis and for the treatment of the various conditions. Okay, so that is the law of inertia. And the Newton's first law can also be called as the law of equilibrium. What is law of equilibrium? So in the Newton's first law can be restated as, for an object to be in equilibrium, the sum of all the forces acting on that object should equal to zero. That is, law of inertia can be restated as, or the law of equilibrium is restated as, for an object to be in equilibrium, the sum of all the forces acting on that object should equal to 0. That is, sigma F should equals to 0. That is the Newton's first law equation. Sigma F should equal to 0. That is, in other words, that is the equation for the law of inertia 2. Inertia is a property of an object to remain at a state of rest, is a property of an object to resist the initiation of motion or change in motion. So technically, if a body want to be in a state of inertia, there should not be any movement taking place. Body should be in a stable position. If the body is moving, it should be moving continuously. If it is in a stable position, it should be stable. So for that inertia to happen, the forces acting on that object should equals to 0. If a person, imagine, I am moving this bottle. Okay, so since all the forces acting on this bottle is balanced, this bottle is moving in one direction. If I am giving a push towards the left side, this bottle will deviate its position towards the left side. Okay, so what is happening to this bottle? There is a change in the state of inertia of this bottle. So what will happen? When this bottle will move towards the left side, here comes the Newton's second law. So when you are giving a force on the bottle towards the left, this bottle will accelerate towards the left side. Again, the word, take it, acceleration. The bottle moves towards the left. There comes the Newton's second law of acceleration. So what is law of acceleration? Acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the unbalanced force and inversely proportional to the mass of the object. That is, acceleration of an object is equal to directly proportional to the unbalanced force and inversely proportional to the mass of an object, or A is directly proportional to F by M. Okay, what is that law? Acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the unbalanced force and inversely proportional to the mass of the object. Imagine you are pushing a person. Okay, you are giving a force of 50 Newton. You are giving a force of 50 Newton. Imagine your pushing force is 50 Newton. Okay, and you push with 50 Newton to a mass of 25 kilograms. Okay, got it? You are pushing an object. So you are pushing an object with a mass of 25 kilogram with a force of 50 Newton. With a force of 50 Newton. You got it? And this object will accelerate. 10 meter per second. Okay, 10 meter per second. That is an object. That is the first object. Object of mass 25 kilogram. You are providing a force of 50 Newton and the object accelerates 10 meter per second. Imagine you are giving on a second object, you are giving a force of, same 50 Newton, and if the mass of the object increases to 50 kilogram instead of 25, you can accelerate only 5 meter per second. Do you understand now? That is, acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the unbalanced force and inversely proportional to the mass of the object. So, your acceleration increases when the mass of the object decreases. Okay. If the mass of the object increases, acceleration is less. Again, if the force, instead of 50 Newton, if you are giving 100 Newton, you can produce more acceleration. Okay. So acceleration is always directly proportional to the force applied. If you are giving more push, more force, more acceleration. If you are giving less force, less acceleration. But if the mass increases, acceleration decreases. So that is Newton's second law. Acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the unbalanced force and inversely proportional to the mass of the object. And that is Newton's first law, Newton's second law, and third law is law of reactions. What is law of reaction? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Okay? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. That is, force acting on an object A, B should equal to the force acting on B, A. So if an object is providing, so if my left hand is pushing towards my right hand, if both these hands are pushing same force, what is happening? There is an equal and opposite reaction. So if my left hand pushes more, what will happen? My left hand accelerates more towards the right side. Okay, so for each and every action, that is Newton's law of reaction. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. If that is not happening, what will happen? Acceleration take place. That's what that we can see in physiotherapy, some conditions. If you see some bedridden patients and all, what is the reason? These Newton's third law can be applicable for bedridden patient who, in case of decubitus ulcers or pressure sores. If a person is lying for a prolonged time, when the weight of the body as well as the weight of the mattress, as long as they are equal, when a body is providing a force to the mattress in turn will produce a force towards the body. Okay, so in a normal situation, nothing will happen as long as your skin is intact, there is a proper blood circulation occurs. But in case of bedridden patient, if some pathological condition happen, what happen is that when the body is giving weight to the mattress, when the mattress is giving weight towards the body, there should be an equal and opposite reaction. The body cannot able to tolerate the force given by the mattress. So automatically what happens? That force will make an acceleration in the body which result in the decubitus ulcers. So all these laws can be applicable for various conditions that is we are dealing with in physiotherapy. Okay, so that is the Newton's three laws, Newton's laws of motion. Okay,